All right, happy Monday. If you were watching this because you actually got done with the activity I had planned, hopefully it went well. Remember that I'm at an AP conference today, so I hope you're on your best behavior for the sub. I'm watching you. And I will be back tomorrow. So if you have any questions, I will be back tomorrow. All right. So we started talking about business organizations last week, which remember is chapter 8. And we didn't take any notes because you guys were doing that chart. So I do have a couple of things that I want to give you some notes on. And then we'll do some more notes next week as far as other things about business organizations. So the first thing that I want to show you and talk about is, first of all, what is a business organization? So business organizations are just basically companies that produce a good or a service in order to make a profit. So as you guys found, there are 4 different types of business organizations. There's sole proprietorships, partnerships, corporations, and franchises. So I have 2 pie charts for you. These are ones that I was trying to find something that was updated and I could not find anything that had included in their franchises, so that's why we're ignoring franchises. But technically, franchises are a corporation. So the interesting thing is that the pie chart on the left is looking at how many of each type are in there. In the United States, how many do we have? So what you can see is that sole proprietorships actually are the most numerous out there. Most businesses are sole proprietorships, with corporations a distant second, and then partnerships following that. So my question to you is, why? Think about it. I mean, everywhere you look, there's corporations. I mean, you go past by Chick-fil-A and, Lowe's and Walmart and, all of these places that are corporations. So why is it that sole proprietorships actually outnumber corporations as far as the amount out there? What do you think? Well, part of it has to do with the fact that all those corporations out there that I just mentioned, okay, for example, if you think about, just how many Walmarts are out there. Walmart counts as one corporation. So while we see them very often, they don't count as more than just one. Okay, there's many different stores for that one corporation, as well as keep in mind that there are parent corporations, and we'll talk more about this later. Is that there are parent corporations that control several locations, several things that we recognize as different stores. I'll give you, for instance, Red Lobster, right? Red Lobster is a restaurant, but it is also owned by a parent company that is a corporation that also, for example, owns Olive Garden, right? So that one corporation is Darden Industries is actually controlling all of the Red Lobsters and Olive Gardens, and they actually have more than just Red Lobster and Olive Garden in the entire country. So that counts as one. So that kind of gives you an idea as to why the sole proprietorships actually outnumber the corporations. The other pie chart I have is the percent of actual, profits, and you can see way outnumbered is the corporations, and that corporations actually make way more money than sole proprietorships or partnerships. Okay, but keep in mind this is generalizations. Individual companies could be more or less than that. All right, so I did want to focus in on types of corporations. So types of corporations, there are actually 2 subtypes. So the 2 subtypes are sub S corporations and limited liability corporations. So sub S corporations are a private company. They are not publicly traded. You're not going to find a sub S on a New York Stock Exchange, for example. But they do have limited liability, just like all corporations. So all the owners are fully protected from debts and losses, and so they can't go after their personal assets. Sub S also has less than 75 employees. They have what they call individual taxes. What that means is that they get taxed just like a sole proprietorship or a partnership would. So, for example, in those cases, when you get profits, the profits will be divided up among the owners, and then the owners will declare that portion of the profits to the IRS. So when it comes time to pay taxes, and they say, well, how much money did you make? Well, their portion of the corporation is how much they get taxed. Okay, so that's what it means by individual taxes. They also have a rule that you cannot have a non-U.S. citizens own stock in a sub S. And there has to be 100 shares or less. Now, 100 shares means that, keep in mind, that doesn't mean that there has to be 100 owners or less. I mean, that's pretty much the max number you could have. But you could, for example, have 100 shares, but maybe they're just divided between 4 people. Okay, so 100 shares or less, and that's how you divide it. Now, an LLC, a limited liability corporation, you may have heard of LLCs before. They also have, as you imagine, limited liability, which is, by the way, the commonality between all 3 types of corporations. They also have individual taxes. So again, with an LLC, you are going to have the owners of the business are going to go and declare to the IRS their portion of the profits as their income, and so that's what gets taxed. So basically, the sub S and the LLC eliminates double taxation. Okay. They do have an unlimited number of shareholders, so that's a difference between the sub S and the LLC. They do allow non-U.S. citizens to own stock. But with an LLC, they do need approval from all stockholders to sell. So if, for example, there is somebody that is an owner of an LLC and they want out, okay, they want out, they want to sell it to somebody else or whatever, then they have to get the approval from all the other stockholders. And so all the other stockholders have to get together and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. So notice the difference between the sub S, LLC, and the type that's on your business organizations chart is what we call a C Corp. That's the big corporation. Okay, so what I would suggest you to do is that hopefully you're kind of listening as I was talking about it, but maybe you can pause the video now so you can actually write it down. I forgot to actually make these active and live so that I would show them one at a time, and I know it's very overwhelming to have all of it at once. Okay, so hope you have a good day, and I will see you guys tomorrow.